It's a great day for everybody in Paterson.
That's right. You tell them. You tell them.
Well, let me thank Mayor Sayegh and my dear friend. And, you know, in the midst of work, there are many champions. But you couldn't have a better champion in the United States House of Representatives than Bill Pascrell fighting for you. And I see it every day. And this is just one of many successes. But all of these individuals who are instrumental in making Paterson Great Falls a national historic park. And while the late, great Senator Frank Lautenberg is no longer with us, this majestic place is forever part of his enduring legacy as well. Governor Murphy, thank you for joining us to celebrate one of the great crown jewels of New Jersey and the nation, and we are thrilled to have a partner who will continue to work with us from all of the state perspectives to enhance the national park and its standing, but all the environs of Paterson to make it an even greater city as the mayor envisions it to be. Appreciate all the previous mayors who have been part of this process. I want to thank an incredible superintendent of our park, Darren Bach, who under his leadership, the Great Falls has flourished, attracting tens of thousands of visitors a year. And we're thrilled to have so many amplified at a time of budget challenges, which the council people, the freeholders, and others can appreciate. To have so many new park rangers be able to help us is incredibly important. So to all the young people, congratulations. It's hard to believe that it was 10 years ago that we successfully secured Paterson Great Falls as the 397th unit of the National Park Service. I remember the fight as if it was yesterday. Back then, when I was at the beginning of my term in the Senate, I sat on the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee, which oversees our national park system. This was before Lin-Manuel Miranda made Alexander Hamilton a popular culture icon and shined a new light on Paterson's incredible history. This was before the idea of an urban national park even existed. Most of my committee colleagues in the Senate were Westerners and highly skeptical of the idea of an urban national park. I spent months making the case that while we may not fit the mold of a Yellowstone or a Yosemite, Paterson Great Falls was no less of a national treasure.
Yes.
No other site in the nation better tells the story of America's transformation from a rural agrarian society based in slavery to a modern economy based in freedom and opportunity for all. And a central figure in that story is Alexander Hamilton. Hamilton was many things: an immigrant, Revolutionary War officer, a lawyer, a statesman, a great political mind, and a framer of our Constitution. But perhaps more than anyone else, Hamilton saw that America's strength would come from giving immigrants a chance to come here and build a better future for themselves, their families, and our entire country. He founded the Society for Establishing Useful Manufactures to realize that vision, and for a generation of immigrants who shared a dream of making it in America, Paterson became the place that realized it. From the Great Falls, through the raceways and water wheels along the Passaic, flowed the blood, sweat, and tears of the generations of immigrants who came to work here. Irish and English, German and Syrian, Jewish and Italian, and so many more. They toiled over textiles, produced scores of paper, they poured hot steel, and they welded iron. By the 1850s, Paterson wasn't just an epicenter for locomotive manufacturing, it became a leading global producer of silk. And to this day, Paterson is known as the Silk City. Standing here as a son of immigrants myself, I see Paterson Great Falls as a monument to America's identity, as a nation of immigrants. These days, that's a legacy we must hold on to fiercely and protect for future generations to come. Today, the Omnibus Public Land Management Act of 2009 remains a great achievement, protecting nearly 2 million acres of wilderness and thousands of miles of rivers for all Americans to treasure. And including the Great Falls in that law and passing it to the Energy and Natural Resources Committee, to the Congress, and on to President Obama's desk remains one of the proudest moments of my time as a senator. But as Congressman Pascrell said, our fight was far from over. Hinchcliffe Stadium, which hosted some of America's greatest African-American athletes, including Paterson's own native son, Larry Doby, before the desecration of sports, wasn't yet included. We successfully convinced the Park Service to designate Hinchcliffe as a National Historic Landmark. But then Senator Booker, myself, and Congressman Pascrell had to introduce another bill to expand the boundaries of the Great Falls National Park. Together, we won its inclusion in a broader public lands bill, only for it to come under attack by Senate Republicans, who denigrated the stadium and dismissed its history as a landmark in our nation's struggle against racial inequality. In my Senate floor speech defending Hinchcliffe Stadium, I told my colleagues that critics that raised their voices against it may look at Hinchcliffe Stadium and see a rundown sports field, but not me. When I look at Hinchcliffe Stadium, I see a field of dreams, an enduring reminder of how far we came since the days of separate but equal, when institutional segregation marginalized the work, dreams, and achievements of African Americans. Fortunately, the opposition relented, and Hinchcliffe's inclusion in Paterson Great Falls was cemented. Even now, our work on behalf of the Paterson Great Falls goes on. Today, Congressman Pascrell, Senator Booker has joined us as well, and I have written to the National Park Service to urge that they make restoring its historic raceways a top priority. Pierre Charles L'Enfant, one of the raceway designers, is already known for having designed Washington, D.C. If you see the way Washington, D.C. was laid out, it is the same person who helped design the raceways. And together with Peter Colt, they created a system of canals that powered Paterson's mills and factories. Beyond historic preservation, restoring these raceways is also about education. It's about showing our young people the roots of the American ingenuity that continues to power our economy today. So let me close by saying I challenge anyone to think of a place that tells America's story better than the Paterson Great Falls.
Yes.
Its rushing waters. Its rushing waters are a monument to our identity as a nation of immigrants and Alexander Hamilton's great American dream. Its place as the home of Hinchcliffe Stadium is a monument to our long struggle to build a more perfect union. And when we restore the Passaic raceways, they too will be a monument to the innovative spirit that has always defined the American people, right here in the city of Paterson in Great Falls National Park, which has it all.
Yes.
Thank you all very much.